In the small, sun-drenched town of Everspring, life unfolded with a gentle rhythm, marked by the changing seasons and the unwavering pulse of community. It was a place where people knew each other, where smiles were exchanged freely, and neighbors helped neighbors. Grace Holloway fit seamlessly into this idyllic tapestry. She was known for her sensible nature, her warm gestures, and her insatiable curiosity about life beyond the town's border. Her heart beat with compassion, and her mind was sharp, always seeking knowledge and understanding. Grace worked at the local library, a quaint building that smelled of aged paper and had large windows that framed the vibrant gardens. She delighted in connecting people with stories that ignited their imagination and fueled their dreams. Despite her commitment to the library and her love for Everspring, she often felt a yearning for something more, a calling that she couldn't quite articulate. It was on an unusually warm autumn day when her life took a dramatic turn. As she strolled through the town square, an unusual sight caught her eye. A man sat on the edge of a fountain, his framed face surrounded by wild hair that danced in the gentle breeze. He wore layers of faded clothing, and his shoes, his shoes. They were battered and worn, hardly suitable for the cool air of fall. The man noticed Grace's gaze and offered a small smile, though worry lines deepened around his eyes. He looked weary, as if he had traveled a great distance, not just in miles but in spirit as well. Intrigued, Grace felt compelled to move closer. "Hello," she said softly, taking a seat beside him on the fountain's rim. "How are you doing? Nice weather it is today," she exclaimed. The man looked into her eyes, his expression shifting from caution to curiosity. "I'll survive," he replied, his voice gravelly, like leaves crunching underfoot. "I'm just sitting here, waiting for a sign." "A sign?" Grace echoed, her interest aroused. "What kind of sign?" He chuckled lightly, the sound bringing a spark of warmth against the afternoon chill. "I've been wandering for a while now, trying to figure out where I belong. I thought perhaps the universe would send me a message if I sat still long enough." Grace nodded, feeling an unexpected connection to his quest. While she had never faced his struggles, she too had spent nights wondering what her purpose was, what path she was meant to follow. "I'm Grace," she said, extending her hand. "Daniel," he replied, accepting her handshake with a gentle, hesitant grip. As they spoke, Grace learned that Daniel had lost his job and, subsequently, his home. He was a skilled carpenter who had not just built furniture but crafted dreams for families, each piece infused with memories and warmth. But economic hardships had left him adrift, his passion unable to pay bills or sustain a life. He had come to Everspring, hopeful for work among its quaint homes, but things had not turned out as he had hoped. "What do you love most about carpentry?" Grace asked, genuinely intrigued. His eyes lit up, reflecting a flicker of the passion buried deep within. The ability to create something from nothing, to transform raw, rough materials into something beautiful that can bring joy to others. "Every piece carries a piece of my soul." The conversation flowed between them like water through a serene brook. Time slipped away unnoticed as they exchanged stories, her love for books and stories, his admiration for nature's endless lessons. As a wise woman once said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." In their shared companionship, they began to feel the truth of those words in their hearts. Days turned into weeks, and Grace found herself drawn to Daniel in a way that was both unexpected and profound. Every time she visited the fountain, she'd find him there, as if his spirit thrived in the warmth of their friendship. They would talk deep into the evening, sharing hopes and dreams, and veiling their struggles with laughter. Daniel would sometimes sketch designs in the mud with a stick, illustrating the worlds he wanted to create. Despite the playful atmosphere, Grace sensed a heaviness in Daniel, a burden he carried within. There was a certain hesitance in his laughter, a flicker of fear behind his bright eyes when the conversation turned toward the future. Grace wanted to help him, to do more than just listen, but she was unsure how to bridge the gap between her comfortable life and his. One afternoon, as they sat in the fading sunlight, Grace finally spoke, her heart racing a bit. "I believe you deserve a chance to create again. Why don't we team up? I can help you find materials, maybe even organize a fundraiser at the library. You'd do that for me?" Daniel's voice held a mixture of surprise and hope, and for the first time, Grace saw a glimpse of the dreamer he once was. "Of course, you have a gift. It shouldn't go unnoticed," she said, her resolve strengthened by an unfamiliar sense of purpose that filled her heart like a song. Weeks passed, and with Grace's help, Daniel began crafting furniture once more. They organized events at the library, showcasing his creations. The community rallied around him, not just with monetary support, but with a genuine belief in his talent. Grace watched as Daniel slowly blossomed back into the vibrant artist he had once been, his shoes perhaps still worn but his heart lighter than ever. One evening, as they stood in the library, surrounded by his handcrafted pieces, Daniel paused and took a deep breath. "I owe you everything, Grace. You believed in me when I could hardly believe in myself." Grace smiled, warmth spreading through her like sunlight on a cold morning. "You had it in you all along, Daniel. I merely nudged you a little." With time, Daniel's workshops became a staple of the town, drawing people from near and far, each wanting to experience not just the craftsmanship but the energy and spirit that radiated from his creations. He found work, new connections, and blossoming friendships. Yet, more importantly, he discovered a sense of purpose and belonging in Everspring. One crisp winter evening, as snowflakes danced through the air like miniature stars, Daniel and Grace stood outside the library, surrounded by the glow of lanterns and laughter echoing from inside. He turned to her, his deep brown eyes shimmering under the glow of the lanterns. "What if I told you that our encounters have led to something more profound than I could ever have imagined?" "What do you mean?" she asked, intrigued. "Not just the projects, it's you. You've become my sign, Grace. The guidance I didn't know I needed. You ignited the spark of hope and healing in me." Tears glistened in Grace's eyes as she realized the depth of their bond. "I never intended to be your guiding star. I was searching too, and somewhere along the way, we found each other." In that moment, they understood that life, with its countless paths and unexpected twists, would continue to evolve around them. Both had faced struggles, one rooted in the depth of scarcity, the other in the uncomfortable weight for belonging. And yet, in their unity, they learned the transformative power of human connection, the nuances of faith, and the art of walking alongside one another. As they stood illuminated by the shimmering winter stars, Grace and Daniel knew they had found not just purpose but a love that danced like the softest whisper through the corridors of the universe. And in cherishing that love, they became the signs they had once sought, lighting the way for others wandering through their own darkness. In Everspring, where the seasons would continue to change and the community would grow, their story would remain, a testament to the beauty of connection and the simple truth that sometimes, the most significant steps we take are the ones directed by grace.